Oh my gosh, I am so excited, Kelley, to have you on the podcast today.
Thank you. And I'm so excited to be here with you today.
Okay, so this is my friend. We're in a mastermind together, and I fell in love with her immediately. And you guys are too, for a lot of reasons. But number one, you got to hear her talk. She's from Boston. She is from Boston. Just give us the Boston accent, Kelley.
Oh, thanks for putting me on the spot there, Amy. I do have a very strong accent. So if I said to you, can you please pass me the butter? It's real butter.
You can say the R. It just is
I
hard.
can. I just don't think about it, to be honest.
Say car and maybe go park the car. How does that roll out of your lips?
It just park the car. It just rolls out.
It just rolls out. So she's from Boston, clearly from Boston, and she's beautiful. So sometimes when you talk, who is the actress? She was on My Cousin Vinny. Who is it?
Marissa Tomei.
Marissa Tomei. Okay, you guys just think Marissa Tomei, except she's looks totally different from that. But anyway, so excited to have you here. Okay, that was a little side note.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited to be here.
Okay. So we're in a mastermind together all year long, and it's wonderful to get to do life with her. Kelley is a strong Christian. She loves Jesus, and she is an author. She is a top 1% podcaster, and her brand across everything is Addicted to the Climb. And I'm so excited to talk about this and your mission and how you're helping women, Kelley.
Oh, thank you. I am so excited too, because it really is a passion of mine to talk about helping women climb higher in life. You know, there's so many setbacks that we go through, and we can get into some of these things that I've been through, but it really is a mission that I've had for a very long time. I've always been passionate about encouraging women to keep going. I've always been the cheerleader that will say, you can do it. I can, like, let's enhance this. Let's do this. I'm a cheerleader for women. So it really came natural, this Addicted to the Climb movement, for me to just be a voice for women to say, you got this, girl, you got this. And especially bringing women together. I mean, we can climb higher together. You know, you know that, Amy, when we do things alone, we can go far, but when we do it together, we can go much farther. So it's exciting to meet new women, bring them into my community, and just encourage them to keep going. That's what we're here to do, right?
That is so right. So I know that so much of this movement and the strength that you have actually came from a really, really difficult season, some tragedy, and share that story, because it's powerful. You guys go grab a Kleenex. It's really powerful.
Well, I'll start back and I'll tell you the whole story in a short little version of, oops, I'm so sorry. My kids are calling me and breaking through my emergency bypass on my cell phone. Okay, we're real here, right? Can I be real?
That's right. That's right.
We have on your cell phone emergency bypass, so I always silence my phone. But today, both the kids are calling, and they should be at work and at school. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, so
yeah,
I'm wanted today. That's a good thing. Moms like to be wanted, right?
Right.
Well, so I want to take you back, real far back, because I want to tell you a little bit about my story. I was an only child growing up with the two best parents in the world. Super blessed to have them as strong examples of courage and strength in resilience. Okay. They loved me to pieces. My mom told me I was Wonder Woman as a little girl, and that's how I thought about myself. She instilled that in me. However, my mom was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis when I was born. So I don't know if you know much about rheumatoid, but it's a debilitating disease that attacks every joint in your body. And I watched her, as I grew up, go through numerous surgeries and operations. This woman was scarred from head to toe, but she always had a smile on her face. She had a shine that I didn't see on a lot of other people and women going through the pain that she went through her whole life. And the reason being is she had a faith that couldn't be shaken. She had a foundation of faith that was laid into her. She had Jesus across her forehead. And that's what I watched as a little girl my whole life. So
Amen.
seeing her go through, I know it's so beautiful. I have chills even when I tell this story. I lost her 6 years ago, but I'm going to lead you up to just the stories and the events that took place in my life, because she was she paved the way for me. And I'm so grateful and thankful to this moment that she did what she did. And she doesn't even realize it, but going through
Yes,
all
she does.
she
She
does.
does.
I
Yeah.
know. I shouldn't
Yeah.
say that. You're right. She
She does.
does realize it.
She's smiling at you from heaven.
Yes. Yes, she is. So going through all that and seeing her bounce back. Kelley, let's go. Where are we going? Every day she wanted, being in a wheelchair, she still wanted to go shopping. She still had her makeup on. So as I grew up and started going through things in life, I was opening up a gym. I'm going to take you fast forward through a few things I've tried in my life. But one of my ventures was I wanted to open up a boot camp for women. And I was super excited. I proposed to these 4 guys that were opening a CrossFit gym. Can I start a boot camp? Because I had been teaching and I wasn't feeling fulfilled in the classroom. So I wanted something different. And the guys said yes. They gave me some time slots. 5 a.m. was one of them. So I knew I was preparing myself for this. But 2 months before I opened the doors to the gym, I went to the doctor because I found a little bump on my chest when I was scratching one night. And as I was driving one day, I had a 2-year-old son in the back seat. The call came in and the doctor said, "Can you talk?" And I said, "Sure." I said, "What's up?" He says, "Kelley, you have cancer." It was mind blowing, to say the least, in so many ways. Here I was, I'm ready to open up a fitness business. I'm the fit girl. I wanted all the people to look at me as the healthy one, come to my class. And I was the one with cancer. Now, I didn't know any other of my friends that went through breast cancer. I didn't have a lot of people in my space going through this. So it was just a setback, to say the least. I did have my cry. I did have a pity party. I had to, I suffered through this emotionally because I really felt I was crumbling because I was trying to start a business. I felt shame around it, Amy, too, because I just felt, how could this happen to me? And then I questioned God. Why was this happening to me? Why would you put me through this when I'm trying to do a good thing for women, start a fitness business, get women healthy and strong? Why am I going through this? But I told you the story about my parents for a reason. And I always leaned on, my mother had a strength, and she had the strength of Jesus. And that's what I had to lean in. I said, if she can do it, I can do it, because I had a choice to make. Am I going to do this business and show up for these women, or would I crumble? Because I felt like crumbling. Let's be real. Like, you go through the words hearing you have cancer. I wanted to just stay in my room and just sulk and say, why me? But I had a choice to make. And I had to really be still and quiet with myself and say, what am I going to do? What do you want to do, Kelley? And I chose to be the leader of these women. I chose to follow through. I wanted to show up and tell them, hey, if I'm here doing this through my treatments, you guys can too. You guys, when I look back on this, because now I've been breast cancer free for 14 years, which is a blessing, but God really knew what he was doing. He knew he had this all planned out, because those women were there without me knowing. They got me through. I showed up for them going, they're going to be there for me. They were my accountability partner to get me through all those, treatments that I had to go through. Yet I was their accountability. They were there for me. So it was a two-way win for both of us. And God knew that this is going to get her through, and she's going to be able to tell this story. So I really...
Gosh, Kelley, hang on. I just got to take that in for just a second.
Okay.
That is amazing that You're diagnosed with cancer,
Mhm.
and you had a choice. In
Yeah.
that moment, you had a choice. And I think it would have been absolutely appropriate if you'd have pushed pause on opening up the boot camp and said,
Mhm.
hang on. But I love that fighter spirit, that warrior, that true warrior spirit. You can really see your mother shining through that said, no, get up. And she had been through all of that hardship, but she put on her face, got in her wheelchair, and let's go. And she just taught you such, I think about the Proverbs 31 woman,
Yes.
and it's strength and dignity. Those two words come to my mind a lot because I want to be a woman of strength and who
Mhm.
operates from dignity. And I love that you didn't go, oh, but I'm not going to look good. I'm not going to be able to do everything that they're doing. I don't know if you lost your, did you lose your hair?
No, but I was tired all the time,
For
and
sure. Yeah.
and mentally I was tired
Mhm.
and physically, and it was just exhausting every day, just trying to
Yeah.
get through.
Amazing. What a warrior, honey. You are a
Thank
warrior.
you. Thank you. I mean, it's not easy. And if anyone's going through anything, I mean, let me continue my story because I
Yeah.
want to just share. I want someone to feel so empowered today by this message because
Mhm.
here I am standing here, 2023, breathing, alive, and thriving. And you can too if you're going through something, because that
Amen.
wasn't the end of my story.
No.
After going through breast cancer, opening up the gym, I'm going to sum this up. I led an amazing, incredibly beautiful fitness business for 10 years, and thousands of women came through my programs. I ended up getting my nutrition degree and health coaching licenses. And so I created courses and programs, and it was just an amazing place to be at that time. Well, two women came in. I'm sorry, right before two women came in, my dad was diagnosed at year 10 of my business with a rare blood cancer.
Mhm.
Now, my dad was the healthiest man you ever met. I never saw my dad take a Tylenol, and that's the truth. Okay. He never did. He ran 5 to 7 miles a day, 6 days a
Wow.
week for
Wow.
my whole life. So this is over 40 years. This guy has been running, always healthy, took care of my mom. He was her caretaker, best guy in the world, and he gets a diagnosis, a rare blood cancer. So now my mom and I have to regroup, come together and say, how are we going to get through this? I'm going to help you, mama. We're going to do this together. And not knowing if my dad would make it. I mean,
Mhm.
this was very scary. He had to have a full stem cell transplant, have a, it was just scary time. So he went in the hospital, and 6 weeks to the day that he went in the hospital for the stem cell transplant, my mom passed of an aneurysm, a sudden aneurysm,
Oh,
six
Kelley.
weeks into his recovery.
Wow.
Okay. So to say setbacks and things happen, I mean, I could just tear up talking about this, and I tell the story over and over, but it was life altering. Okay. Right before my mom passed, two women, I was starting this part, two women came in and bought out my gym and
Mhm.
told me, we don't want you here anymore. We're taking over. Go find another gym. All this happened.
Wow.
Dad, me getting pretty much tossed out my 10-year business that I was running that kept me sane. Then my mom passing away. So this is part of my Addicted to the Climb story, Amy, because I wouldn't be here today if I didn't have faith.
Yeah.
And fear was trying to grip me in more ways. I mean, I'm talking like demons were
Mhm.
talking to me saying, you're no good. Everyone's going to die. Your cancer's going to come back. You don't have a job. I mean, it was flooding in my head on a daily basis. But I want your listeners to know that I am thriving today because I chose faith over fear. And
Yeah.
it's not easy. I'm not
Yeah.
saying it is. Believe me, I had to climb my way out of deep, dark places, but it all comes down to a choice we all get to make
Mhm.
in these moments if we want to live the life that God set us out to live. And that's what I wanted. I saw my mother live her life. She never gave up. She never quit. She still got out of bed, even in her pain. And I said, if she can do it,
That's right.
I can too. And I
Yeah.
want to be that example for women that here I am still standing, been through a lot. Yes, I have, but so have you. listener, you've been through a lot already. I know you have, because I'm no different than you. And that's what I want everyone to know, that you can make it if you have trust and faith, and a deep faith, you know, in those wee hours in the night when you're alone in your thoughts and crying and how am I going to wake up? Well, that's where your faith has to be leveled up to a place of, that's it. It's faith, and you're choosing faith. And so I get so passionate about talking about this, because without it, I would have totally crumbled. I don't even know if I'd be here. I had those nasty thoughts come through that, Kelley, you shouldn't be here anymore. Just go. And it was scary, Amy, very scary.
So scary. It's so scary. I don't know if you're following, but I have my little best bud is 13. I don't know if you've been following Gabby's story.
I have.
Okay. So Gabby literally is at St. Jude right now.
Okay.
And my listeners will be very familiar with Gabby. She's actually been on the podcast twice already.
She's
but
precious.
She's so precious. She's such an inspiration to us. But I shared on Sunday, because she's going, and every Sunday right after service at church, there's a group of us, and we go and we pray over her. We lay hands on her and we pray over her. It's the same little group for the most part. And this Sunday was particularly special because she was just very authentic and very vulnerable, and said, we said, how can we pray for you? And she said, it just gets really dark, and sometimes I can't find my hope. And here's her prayer. This is so powerful, because it leads into what you're talking about. Her prayer was, help me pray to find my hope. There is a place of rising from a warrior and strength and dignity, like we just talked about, a place that is a foundation of faith. Gabby has that at 13. Now, you and I have something very much in common. Mothers that instilled in us a foundation of faith. And my mom has Lyme disease, late stage Lyme disease, and she's been very ill since she was in her mid 40s, and has tons of pain, and she keeps going. She has chosen gratitude. She has chosen to always rejoice and be thankful, and that has been translated to me. And so I'm so grateful. And I just want to speak to the mothers that are listening to this. You're going through a lot. You're going through a lot. And where you feel like giving up, or you feel hopeless, or maybe you're going through a cancer diagnosis yourself, or a horrible diagnosis, or maybe you're in the middle of an abusive situation, or a divorce, or recovery, whatever you're going through, dig deep, find that foundation of faith in Jesus Christ. You are stronger than you think you are, and rely on his strength when you are not. Be strong, and be that mom. You're not going to be perfect, but be the mother that leaves a legacy of faith in Jesus Christ. Because when you leave that legacy for your children, they can figure out any situation, because life is going to happen. And if we can teach our children that, girl, life, or son, daughter, I love you, life is going to be hard. You're going to have adversities. You're going to have obstacles. You're going to have to climb a mountain, and you can do it. And I know that this is so much part of your message. I just wanted to share that. And I just wanted to encourage our mothers to listen, to be strong. Mama, be strong, even if your kids are grown.
And Amy, the mothers to their children, but also your surroundings. Your girlfriends need you. Somebody needs a pillar in the circle. And, you know, I didn't have that for a very long time, and I had to find it. And I'm so grateful that I found you in this mastermind. And, you know, ladies, if you're listening and you're like, well, I don't have what you guys have. I don't have a circle. I didn't either. I'm the first one. I was riding solo for so long, you guys, and I got tired of it. I needed strength from other people, as well as I can read my Bible. I can put my worship music on, but community is the key. Remember in the beginning, I said, we can go far alone. We can go so much further together. And so don't be afraid to pick up the phone, reach out, get into a Facebook group, find the people that you want to emulate, or that are a couple steps ahead of you, or they're faithful and you want what they have. God will open that door for you. I'm telling you right now, don't be afraid to ask. I just did a post on this. Don't be afraid to ask. The answer could be yes or a no, but you have to take the action and seek out these people. I had to seek them out. I found Amy, I found Brooke, I found these women. I was like, I didn't even know you guys exist.
Yeah.
And it's so much more fulfilling to do this together and
Oh,
know that, and to know that I'm not alone. I want women to know you're not alone, like your story, Amy. And I'm so excited to share it on my podcast because I want women to know you're not alone, but yet so many times we feel alone. And I want to tell you another story. This morning, I was very vulnerable. I went and did a live, but anyways, because I was robbed today. I was stolen from. No,
Are you serious?
no, wait. So this is part of my story. I was robbed from the devil.
Oh, okay.
Don't want to scare you.
Okay, I'm like, oh my gosh.
But it felt like a robbery. It
Yeah,
felt like a real robbery.
Yeah.
Because I actually cried a little today, this morning, and I'm being real because what that devil did was, and I know I can talk because we're Christians here and I love Jesus, but we also know there's a devil just as real.
Kill, steal, and destroy. That's kill, steal, and destroy, baby.
And he was creeping up into my head and trying to rob me of my joy, rob me of who I was, and tell me that I'm not capable and I'm not smart. And I was starting to listen, and it made me cry because I was starting to listen. And I want you to know I'm human. It happens. But I immediately went to my Bible, right to the Word of God. I had all my books open. I have a book of resiliency. I was reading things here, and immediately my tears stopped because I realized I am worthy. I am what God says I am. I'm not what the devil says I am. Don't let him rob you of your joy. And we all tend to go through these moments. And that's why I want you to know that I'm just as real and human as any of us. But the devil will try to come in and tell you all the lies until you get to rock bottom, until you're weak and falling apart, unless you put a stop to it. And and it's like, and that's how he works. And we have to have that upper arm and the armor of God on to know that he's coming after us. And we need to just dig into the word, dig into our people. That's why I thought of it. If you have the community, I was texting women, I just need you to pray.
Yeah.
That's what I did.
Build your network. So if you don't have a network, you guys, like if you were with like where Kelley was way back when, I have been there too. I have been there. And sometimes, Kelley, I think when you're a natural leader, sometimes it could be a little bit difficult to find that place to where, because I don't know about you, but I'm a little bit different than a lot of the circles that I see. And it's like, okay, great. And that feels a little bit odd, but here's what I've learned in my own journey. And I'm so agree with you. And number one, wait, before I even say what I'm about to say, you just said, get the armor of God on. Oh my gosh. Okay. That was my favorite thing all day long. Get the armor. So here's the thing. We're created for interconnectivity. If you're missing that part of your life, I know that I coach my women, like this is a pillar of having that community, a network. Go build it. And I think it's so important to figure out how you can do it. I started online. I figured out that, you know what, I actually really jive with entrepreneurs because of my personality and because of what I do. So I started finding things online, but that doesn't replace finding something in person. So my encouragement to you is that build your network around you. Look at that. You might do it online, but also do it in your own community. You are needed in your community and you can make massive impact in your own community. And it might be that you're a leader in your community, in your church, in your small group, maybe start a small group. Gosh, we've started a small group. I started a ladies group, all of the things. And it's so rewarding to your life, but good for you to recognize you were being robbed and you put your armor on and fought that. That's amazing.
Yes. It's a daily thing we have.
Yes, it is a daily thing.
Yes. It doesn't go away. We have to wake up and rewire our thoughts right out of the gate.
That's right. That's right. All right, sister. Well, I am super excited to talk about the things that you have and your book. And I got a present in the mail a couple of weeks ago. And this is her book, Addicted to the Climb, Faith-Fueled Stories of Hope, Courage, and Strength to Keep on Climbing. So, Kelley, shared your story a little bit. Tell us what this means, Addicted to the Climb.
So the book really came from 30 personal stories of things I went through in my life to just give the hope and instill courage in people so they can climb higher. Because like I said, we're all pretty similar. We go through similar things in life, grief, divorce, being fired, all that stuff. Yet we need to know that we're not alone. Again, I can say that over and over. So I wrote the book so I could just encourage and inspire people to just keep climbing. And I want it to be very personal. There's all kinds of stories in there, things that I've been through. And that's the messaging in the brands that I have created of being addicted to the climb with faith as our foundation.
Yeah.
Always faith as our foundation so we can become unshakable. You know, the devil's going to come in and try to shake us down. But when we have a faith and we continuously develop our faith and work on our faith, just like our muscles, then we can become unshakable. Our moments will last shorter with faith than without. I remember being in pity parties for way too long before I had a strong faith. And I was tired of that. I sat in misery for way too long. Now with my faith, things happen like they did this morning, but I can bounce back faster because I know God's there. I know he's not leaving me. And I can lean on him for his strength and not mine.
Yeah. Kelley, I remember you sharing a story with me that kind of stands out. And it was after your mother died and she was your best friend. You said that you even brought her coffee just less than 24 hours before. So going through losing your business, which for women, unfortunately, a lot of these things become our identity. They shouldn't. I mean, this is part of the ebb and flow of life and learning to just identify with who Jesus says we are in Christ. And he says that we're chosen, we're royal, we're holy, we're worthy just because of him, right? And so I believe that so many of us have to walk that and to understand that. And we usually walk outside of that and then we have to come back, right? So you'd lost your business. You lost your best friend. Your mom was your very, very best friend. Your dad's just been diagnosed with cancer. You are, you know, freshly coming out of your own cancer, right? And all of this happened and you fell into a very deep, dark depression. Scary depression, you said. It scared you how dark it got.
Yes. Yes, it scared me. I never felt like that. I was always the happiest girl you knew, the smiley one, energetic. And it put me into a deep, dark hole. And I remember really saying, should I go on? I know I have kids and a very loving husband, but it scared me. I never felt like that. I was so rock bottom. I was so thin. I wasn't eating. I wasn't performing. I just cried a lot. And again, it was like going through the breast cancer. You get to a point where you have to make a decision. I was withering away. So I had to make a decision. How am I going to climb out of this? Do I want to climb out of this? And I did. I chose yes. I wanted to get back up on my feet so badly. And it all started with me just getting back into prayer and worship music. And that's really how it started for me. The climb up was putting on one song, then another, and then crying more, but then then another, and then getting into my Bible, and then feeling that hope. Little bits and bits of hope started to take place, started to flourish in me, like a little seed was starting to grow again. And I felt God's presence because he knew I wanted to feel his presence. He was always there, but I was choosing my pity party. So there's a disconnect that can happen. I remember choosing my misery. No, I just want to cry. Leave me alone. I'm going in the bathroom. I would shut the door. I didn't want to be around people. That was a choice. Right. And until I didn't want to choose that any longer. And then that's when I started saying, you know, I got to put my faith first. Let's see if this can work, because it's not working the other way. I needed something. I needed to breathe again.
Yeah.
And I knew I had to be faithful, but I wasn't choosing it. But then when I decided, it was almost like he turned on that switch and said, here I am. I haven't left your side. Let's do this together. And that's what I did. I climbed little baby steps out of that hole every single day until I finally got above the water where I could breathe. It took time. It took time, but I did it, and I put the work in. I had to take the action steps. Remember, when you're going, no one's coming to save you.
Nobody.
I hate to tell you, but nobody was. My husband was trying to talk to me, but no one's going to pick you up and take you out of it except for you. And it's a choice.
It's such a choice.
Right?
Right.
And that's why I feel so passionate that I know if I could get out of all these things, you can too.
That's right.
I always say I had no magic pills I took. I didn't have anything different than you. You know, there's no secret formula. It's really about a choice, a decision, choosing faith, and then taking the steps.
Oh, I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, Kelley, tell people how they can connect with you, how they can find you. And by the way, you guys, she is a top 1% podcaster.
That's Jesus.
Okay. So Kelley, here's the funny part. What does that mean? How do you mean? I'm so new to the podcasting world. I don't even know what that means. What does that mean?
So you can find out where you are in the whole entire billions of people on podcast. I will give you, there's a link. I have to look it up, and you can find out exactly where you rank in the world. And there's
amazing.
It's super exciting.
Yes,
thank
you. Awesome. I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Very proud of you.
It's very exciting. It is very exciting because people need faith. And your podcast is new, and it's right up. It's going to be right up there and fast.
We're headed there. Yeah.
We're going to get there.
Just baby steps right now.
Yes, it is. It's about sharing. So make sure your listeners share her show. Share the show.
Yes. Yeah. Hey, y'all, share the show. And listen, this is so funny, Kelley. You're going to laugh. You're going to be like, seriously, you didn't know this, Amy? Okay. Are you ready for this one?
Yes.
You're going to laugh. My listeners probably won't. They're going to be like, what? I didn't even know it was a thing. Downloads were a thing. I had no idea. And I was like, oh, I wasn't even downloading my own podcasts that were coming out. Y'all, number one, go subscribe to Kelley's podcast right now. It's called Addicted to the Climb. And then there's a little button you can push where it automatically downloads every single week. But do that for your girl, Amy, and rate us and leave a review. I didn't even know that was a thing, Kelley. Like, I was such a newbie, okay? I'm such a newbie.
It takes time. I mean, listen, we can't do it all at once. It's overwhelming.
It totally is.
But it is exciting. The journey. I always say there's so much joy in the journey. Every step is so fun and new and exciting. And that's,
well, you know what? I actually believe that's a choice. I believe that's a choice that you've made and that I've made. I think that is something that successful people actually just determine that everything is a process. Everything is a journey, and you have to put the hard work in, just like you said. But you just said, what you were saying about it's a choice. It's a choice. You guys, whatever it is whatever climb that you need to climb up out of, or whatever dream that you've got on your heart and it feels overwhelming even to get started, I just want to encourage you to start messy, start scrappy, start sloppy, just get going. It's never the right time, and you never feel qualified. You never feel like you're capable of all the things, but you got to go do what God's called you to do. But here's the thing. A lot of people never, ever do. And that's a sad thing to me. That's a very sad thing. They allow fear to cripple them from taking that action. They allow others' opinions cripple them from ever taking that first little bit of action. So I love having people like you on, Kelley, that you've done the thing. You've written a book. You've got a podcast. You've got a new membership out. How can everybody find and connect with you?
Yes, I would love that. So I am just Kelley Tyan on all social media, Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook. I'm even just a little on TikTok. So I am on all the the platforms. And my website is also kelleytyan.com. And my membership is going, the podcast and the book, Addicted to the Climb. But I do want to say, yes, start messy. I wasn't even a writer, you guys. I didn't even like to write. I used to have people write my papers in college. I hated writing. That's truth. Have to tell you the truth. I hated writing. And here I am. I wrote a book. I just sat down and wrote. And it doesn't have to be perfect. So if you have a dream, like you said, yes, do that thing. You don't want to wake up with regret. You don't want to wake up with regret. So do that thing.
I love this. Craig Rochelle says this, and I don't have it right in front of me, so I hope I get it somewhat right. Discipline is the pain of pain is, wait, let me think. Something like this is that the pain of choosing now or the pain of regret, whatever it is. So we do things oftentimes what feels right for right now, which is not doing anything. But the regret to me is the one that scares me, because I know your heart, and we can kind of wrap up with this. I know your heart, and I want to encourage our listeners right now in this time, in this place. I do it for this makes me want to cry. I want to hear the well done. I want to be faithful on this earth. I want to be faithful. My saying is you've got but one life to live. You might as well maximize it. You are called for purpose, on purpose, with a purpose, with special gifts and talents that only you have. And your successes and your failures make you who you are. And utilize that for God's glory. Don't waste one more day of your life stuck in that pit. Make that choice. Get on your climb.
Amen. Amen.
Well, we'll wrap it up with that, Kelley.
Yes.
Thank you so much. We're going to put all your stuff here in the show notes. Girl, I love you so much. I'm grateful for you and the work that you're doing. You are amazing.
Thank you so much. It's right back at you.
Thanks.